We have that natural bent in our lives to want to appease our flesh and to want to do the things that we want to do and respond the way we want to respond. Welcome to the video ministry of the Cedar Hill Baptist Church in Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, where we stand firmly upon the Word of God. This morning, as we continue in Galatians chapter number 5, we began in verse 16, "This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh." So there's the command, there's the prodding that we have, the Apostle Paul writing to the church at Galatia, walk in the Spirit. Okay, how do we do that? So I had some practical steps a few weeks ago. Practical steps of what that means and what it looks like. And I know the writing is somewhat small because I tried to put my whole outline in one slide. But real quick, we must have a recognition of His presence. A recognition of His presence. Our perspective needs to be on heavenly things, not on earthly things. And we're going to talk about that some more today. Our priorities will have changed if I'm walking in the Spirit. What's important to me? What's my focus? Right? What are the things that I dwell on and drive me? They should change. We become fruit bearers. If we're walking in the Spirit, we're producing fruit for Jesus Christ in our Christian life. John 15. We should be offended by worldliness. If we're walking in the Spirit, then things that are not of the Spirit should begin to offend us. They should be a problem. Right? We should, if we're walking in the Spirit, when I'm watching TV or looking at commercials or browsing the internet, things should pop up that I go, whoa, what is that? Why that? What do they mean by that? The things they say, not alone the pictures, but the things that come up that are offensive. And then we are broken and contrite. God says, a broken and contrite heart I will not deny. And so what is walking in the Spirit? Well, it incorporates all of these. And that was my message back in February. Different message today. We need to learn to walk in the Spirit. So I began with this. Number one, when we're learning to walk in the Spirit, our natural inclination, our natural bent is to walk in the flesh. And we just saw that in verse 16, which is why I started with that verse. Walk in the Spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. In verse 17, the flesh lusteth against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. These are contrary with one another, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. And so there's a natural inclination in our life to walk in the flesh. What does that mean? What do we say? These are common words, common phrases, common vernacular of the Christian language. Well, we need to walk in the Spirit, not in the flesh. Well, what does that mean? How do we apply that in our daily life? We leave here today, we go out to lunch, we go about our business, we go to work tomorrow or go to school tomorrow or do all the things and activities that are tomorrow. How do we apply that? What does that mean? How do I walk in the Spirit, not in the flesh? If my natural bent, if my natural indication, if I'm naturally inclined to walk in the flesh, then I'm going to want to live like I want to live and do what I want to do. I'm going to want to do things that appease the flesh. That involves everything from the way I respond when I get cut off at the end of the on-ramp, when the guy pulls out right in front of you, or tailgates you all the way across the South Bridge, Not that that's ever happened to me, but... Right? And you start to get upset or you start to get angry, right? We start to get worked up. We start to get focused on that. I mean, am I the only one that's ever sped up so they can't get in? Or right? We have a natural inclination to want to retaliate or want to teach them a lesson. Right? I think we have that natural bent in our lives to want to appease our flesh. And to want to do the things that we want to do and respond the way we want to respond. I think it involves every area of our life, up to and including what we eat. I have a natural inclination tomorrow morning to get up and eat 2 Boston cream donuts, I would love to do that. I shouldn't do that. I'm 52 years old. I got to watch, my weight. I got to watch sugar. Got to watch that stuff. If I'm going to be healthy, and if I listen, we are quick to tell people out there that our body is the temple of the Holy Ghost. And if our body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, we need to respect it and take care of it, and we shouldn't be, filling it with vices. We shouldn't be smoking and drinking and all that stuff that destroys the body, because we're the temple of the Holy Ghost. Meanwhile, I'm munching on my big stuffed donut, right? We can be hypocritical that way. So I need to be mindful of that. If this is the temple of the Holy Spirit, I need to be mindful of what I'm doing and how I'm maintaining it. What did God give me? And what am I using it for? This came up recently. I see Aaron Farmery's here. He's a manager at Giant. Maybe he can fix this for me. But I'd like to use the self-checkout. And I know the code for donuts because I really like Giant's donuts. So I go up 620. Enter. And it says place your donuts in the bag. So I try to go move real quick so it doesn't say donuts, because I'm always looking around to see if anybody's watching me, because I'm buying donuts like I'm doing something illegal. Put them in real quick, move on to the next thing. Why does it have to? Can I turn the volume down on this thing? Because it tells everybody I'm buying donuts. I never buy a donut when Desi's with me. Right? That's not going to happen. Everybody knows Pastor likes to pick on himself for eating donuts, but I like donuts. And I really shouldn't be eating that many donuts. But I want to. Why? I heard a sermon years ago that really, really stuck with me on this. We have a tendency to say that we have a craving. We have a craving. We want ice cream. We have to have coffee. We have to have that Boston cream donut. We have to have that piece of chocolate cake. We have to have all that bacon, whatever it is, right? We have this craving that we go after. Listen, according to Scripture, if we're the temple of the Holy Spirit, I should be telling my body what it wants. My body shouldn't be telling me what it wants. Right? That's the problem of an addict who's hooked on drugs or nicotine or whatever. The body's telling them, and they cave to it. So God has put me in authority over my body. And he's going to hold me accountable for what I'm doing with it. So I need to be mindful of these things. I need to be wise to these things. I shouldn't be foolish with these things. I can pick on, we got neighbors down the road that smoke a lot, and they're sitting out on their porch hacking up a lung. And I'm like, they're killing themselves. What are they doing? Why would they do that? Munching on my Boston cream donut. Watching my sugar go up. I think these are applicable things. Listen, my body doesn't tell me what to do. I should be telling my body what to do. Like, no, we're not eating that. No, we're not living like that. No, we're not smoking that. No, we're not drinking that. No, we're not eating that. But our body has a desire to do those things. So that was just diet. Last night, I'll tell you, the boys were at the house. We were watching the boys for a little while so CJ could get some work done. And I'm drinking diet iced tea. And I know it's no better than the regular stuff, right? I know that. And the boys tell me that all the time. It's just as bad. Like, what are you drinking that? And Mason, these kids is in first grade. Unfortunately, they taught him how to read, And he's like, look, Pap, it says right there, diet, take off the tea, he said. You're going to die. It's going to kill you. You can't be drinking that, Thanks, buddy. Thanks. But should we be mindful of the things that we're consuming? Should we be mindful of the responses that we have? Of the retaliation we want to do? Of the things that we say? Of the things that we're watching? Of the things that we're consuming? Of the things that we're hearing and listening to? That we're taking in? We have a natural bent to appease the flesh, right? Not just the things we eat. We have a natural bent to appease the flesh, to do what I want to do, to make myself happy and comfortable. So that's our natural bent. The Bible tells us that. Walk in the Spirit, you won't fulfill the lust of the flesh. The things that I want to do. I want to be in control, right? If I'm appeasing the flesh, then I'm in control. I'm doing it. I'm eating what I want. I'm doing what I want. I'm responding the way I want. I'm watching what I want. But if I'm under the influence of the Holy Spirit, then I'm allowing Him to say, no, right? We're not talking like that. We're not watching that. We're not looking at that. We're not taking that in. I must learn to yield to the Holy Spirit. And so putting this all into action means I'm yielding to what He wants. So I have to be sensitive to that. Ephesians. Go over to the next book. You're in Galatians. Go over a few pages to Ephesians chapter 5. Ephesians 5, verse 8. Ephesians 5:8, ye were sometimes darkness, for ye were sometimes darkness, but now are ye light in the Lord. So notice the command there. Now walk as children of light. We have to be mindful of what the Spirit is leading us to do or not do. Mindful of the direction and the thing like, how am I responding to this person? How am I treating this person? What is it that I'm consuming or that I'm looking at or that I'm studying or that I'm spending my time meditating on? The Bible tells us what to meditate on. It's real easy to meditate on other things. Some bad, some not. We can spend a lot of our time thinking of things and dwelling on things that are of no value and may be harmful.